Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today we're going to try and pick things up a little bit. And I say that because the last couple of videos I put out have been a little bit on the negative side, I would say. My Chieftain Hybrid 120 review wasn't overly positive. And then I had my little rant about the FV4211. So for today, we're going to go back to basics. We're going to go back to Era 1 and we're going to take a look at the SU-122 54. This is the first Russian tank destroyer in Era 1. And given it's the first tank destroyer, you could be forgiven for thinking that this isn't the best tank. But what I've found is that this thing is actually, it's a bit of a hidden gem, to be honest, because while it's not particularly fast, while it doesn't have great hull traverse, the gun isn't overly accurate for Cold War, but what it does have is some pretty good concealment. Now, it's been a while since we had the concealment nerf for light tanks, and what essentially was happening when Cold War first launched, for those that don't know, light tanks were a proxy spot, which basically means the only way to spot them was by getting so close to them that you get a proximity spot, or you detect them because of your proximity to them. Now, the SU is very, very good at hiding itself, especially when it's not moving. Now, we're on Westfield, so I have managed to climb my way all the way up to the top of the hill in the hope that I would sit on this little bit of ridge and shoot the enemies that would be coming up the hill. But what ended up happening was, as you can see from the minimap, my team is nowhere near me. Absolutely nowhere near me. I am caught. It's a sandwich, essentially. There's me, the enemy team, and then my team. This is not really the sort of position you want to find yourself in, especially not when you're on your own in a tank that doesn't have the best reload, it doesn't have the best armor, it doesn't have the best maneuverability or the best top speed. But I figured, well, now that I'm here, and now that I've got a crazy amount of concealment, I'm just going to sit here and not move. Now, obviously, this isn't the most riveting gameplay to watch, I will admit. I'll be the first to put my hand up and say, yeah, you know, not a whole lot happening here. But this does give us an opportunity to demonstrate exactly how the concealment mechanics in this game work. So, if you're a beginner and you're not entirely sure, if you take a look at the minimap, we've got the big cone that you can see spinning around on the minimap as I rotate my view around. The diameter, or sorry, not diameter, the radius of this circle that you see spinning around, that is my view range. Now, if you look even closer at the minimap, you'll notice that there's an even smaller circle around my tank that's shown in dashed lines. That is my concealment. That circle tells me how close I can get to an enemy before I am detected. Now, the reason I am not moving is because I know that if I move, my concealment circle will get bigger, and it's likely that the circle will grow to such a point that that FV, sorry, struggling to speak here, that FV will end up inside the circle, and I will be detected. And if I'm detected by a 4005, well, it's going to be game over for me pretty quickly. So, what do I do? Well, in all honesty, the only thing I can do is sit here, not moving, and continue to spot this 4005. Which, most people, you could look at this situation and go, you're doing nothing but camping. You're doing nothing but camping, you're useless to your team. But if you look at the top right corner of the screen, you'll see that we've clocked just under 7,000 spotting assist. And this is the beautiful thing about assist in this game. And this principle applies to all types of assist. Spotting assist, tracking assist. I have managed to earn just under 7,000 assist in the game, which as far as marks of excellence are concerned and XP earnings, is equal to direct damage from the gun. I've earned more by sitting still, you know, air quotes, not doing anything, than I possibly could have ever done pulling the trigger. That is the beauty of spotting assist, and that is why light tanks will sometimes just sit at the back, spotting stuff, not doing anything, and then they get pinged for not doing anything, which is, you know, we've all had that experience. But this same principle applies to tracking. If you can take one shot to track a target and do damage, and that track can then earn you tracking assist, which could be in the thousands. So from one shot, rather than having 500 damage, if you track someone, you can do damage, and you can farm all the assist from your team. So you can either have shoot them in the side, 500 damage, shoot them in the tracks, track them, get 500 damage, plus 1500 track assist. So for your one shot, you've earned yourself 2000 over what could have been just 500. That's the beauty of assist. And the other beauty of playing the game the way I have is, as far as the enemy team is concerned, they didn't think anybody was up this end of the map. So this E3 is caught well out of position. Well, he's in a position to stay hidden from the team, from my team, on the 9 and 0 line, but he is absolutely exposed to me because he didn't think there was anybody on the 1-2 line. Again, that is the beauty of staying hidden. But as you can see, obviously we are now pulling the trigger, and we're mopping up things. We're mopping things up on this side of the map. It's still a close game though, still a very close game. I do have all my health, so I need to be sensible about this, and I do remember thinking I need to be sensible about this. But as the game gets older and older, I you know, as you do, you get a bit more brave as time passes. There's one of theirs is in the cap. Our friendly heavy is going into the cap to reset. I assume he's going into reset. So I make the decision to rush in and see if I can help him. Which is of course a risk to me, because the second I rush in like this, that's when I get spotted. And obviously when you're spotted, you can get shot more easily. So this is a risk, but I figured it was worth it given the situation and how close the game was. T-34 is now gone. And here's the problem we had. This is the reason why I wasn't rushing in anywhere. Shot from the other side of the map, and there's no way I could return fire there, because even with true vision, there's too much cover between myself and that enemy target. So back up the hill we go. Back up to the hill where we can hopefully take up a position and shoot all the way across. Now while I relocate here, this gives me a little bit of time to talk about the SU, the 122. It's not a tank that I ever expected to be amazing. I believe I have played the World War II version of this, and again, you know, it wasn't anything amazing in my opinion. But I'm really enjoying this tank. I've had this game, which I recorded. Obviously, you're watching it right now. Of course, it was recorded. But I've also had another game where I ran out of ammunition and I did 9,000 damage in this thing. And that gives you an idea of what this tank, or tank destroyer I should say, that gives you an idea of what this thing is capable of. Now, less than half health, pop the smoke because that guy is wrecking me, but we win. And there you go. So, what do we end on? It's a victory, obviously. MVP, 3 kills, 3,298 damage, which at this screen doesn't look like much. But it's when we jump to the next screen. Here we are. 7,491 assist. The SU-122-54 is a tank destroyer, I should say. I'll correct myself. This thing has really surprised me. If you want a little... It's a hidden gem. And if you want to play a hidden gem in Era 1, and you want something that's a bit different from the standard turreted gameplay, I highly recommend the SU-122, because it is the little TD that could. That's all I've got for this one, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If not, a dislike. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and as always, hope you're all keeping well, and I will see you out there.